Okay, so next I'm going to show you how I would make a drivable vehicle. I suppose there's a lot of different ways of doing this. Some people like to use the angular motors like I just showed you, but to be honest that is a pretty poor way of doing it. The only thing that is actually good for it is if you want to make your car look realistic and have the wheels actually turn when you're inputting the controller, the left analog stick. So we're going to my favourites here. I'm going to pull out one of my cars, just straighten it up, pop it down, take these lights off. So yeah, I'm using directional forces glued to the car to actually make this move. Now, a lot of people don't like this way of doing it, but in my opinion this is the most easiest or the most controllable way of actually building a car. So that they're not actually on now. I'm going to show you how you actually get this to power. So in your triggers and events, you want to go down to events and you want to click a state event. Now for those of you who don't know this, state events allow you to turn on and off a number of different things, including directional forces, triggers, hit triggers, interval triggers, all this kind of stuff. This state event will allow you to turn it on and off. So if I attach this to this, and this trigger is enabled here, whenever I set this off using either another trigger or a controller input or anything like that, it will turn that trigger off. But we're not going to use that for that. We're actually going to use this for these directional forces. So you want to attach it to one of your directional forces, click out, copy it, just to save a bit of time, and then flick that one to on. So now you've got this going on and off. You go into your controller inputs, grab your trigger out, and you want to hit on press. You want to turn it on. On release, you want to turn it off. Let's just go ahead and do a few necessary things here. Just freeze and turn off the rider. And in your track settings, obviously anything other than the rider you have to set. In your game mode settings, you have to go down to your, it would help to go to skill game, but it's not really important. Select your game character and actually select the car. This basically allows you to use this as the game character, obviously, as it says there, game character, because there's only one physics bubble in the game, and it has to be around the object that you're trying to have physics on. So I haven't set anything up to turn or anything like that, but by pressing the right trigger it will actually push it forward. And obviously if you do the same thing for the rest of the directional forces, you'll be able to turn and brake. One problem you might come across if you try and make this is when you turn, you'll notice the car will be very unstable and it will flip over and stuff. So what you want to do is go into your properties of the car or the glued object, down to advanced physics, and I've already done it here, but this section here, the angular damping, it says there how easily the object rotates when affected by forces. So I have this up at 99, so when this or any of these side forces turn the vehicle, it will cause it to stay where it is and not flip or anything like that. It's a lot more stable. Well, it's actually the only way of making a decent drivable car. Yeah, that's about it really. You always want, I think these are actually down, but yeah, you always want the joint strength up maximum. Just helps with the car's stability again, and it will allow you to drive it a lot better. So yeah, probably the easiest way of making a drivable car. I'm going to show you a little example of one I've already done. One of my previous tracks. Let's go for Nitro Racer. So this is the actual camera angle it's set at. It's set for up the top. It's just a big racetrack I've built. I know it's a bit messy. I'm not a very clean person and set it up. I know where everything is, so it's fine by me. Let's go ahead and test this out. So yeah, this was one of the first ones I made, so it is a little bit slow. I've got some out now that are a lot faster. This has actually got nitrous cans here. Once you pick one of these up, you can make this jump. Yeah, I failed there. But you got to turn these extra buttons off for you to be allowed to test those buttons out. But yeah, that's pretty much the best way of making a drivable car. So once I pick the nitrous up, I can make that jump.